Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first official episode of Against the Clock, a variety sports talk show where we discuss 3 important topics with 90 seconds each of the biggest stories around each professional sports league. I'm your host, Sarah Jones, alongside both Corey Zimmerman and Jimmy Brown. Let's get it started with topic number 1. Well, this offseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers look to add its franchise tag to former starting running back Le'Veon Bell this offseason, meaning he would receive the salary of $14.5 million. Le'Veon was unhappy with this offer and is willing to sit out for half of the 2018 season and expect to test free agency after not meeting the deadline to re-sign on July 16th. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers in trouble, and should they be worried? What do we think, guys? You want to start it off, Jimmy?
First off, I'm going to just start with the stats. Okay, so in 2017, Le'Veon Bell had 1,291 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns, averaging 4 yards per game. As far as receiving yards, he received 655. So, as you can see, I mean, he's definitely doing his thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They definitely need him, but to say that they wouldn't be good without him, I would have to disagree with that. On the Sunday game against the Cleveland Browns, James Conner scored 2 touchdowns with 135 yards. So, as you can see, he could be easily replaced.
Yeah, Jimmy, I think you're absolutely right. Le'Veon Bell is a missing piece, obviously, in this offense. I think they missed him this past week, but I think he also deserves his money. He is one of the top running backs in the league, maybe behind Todd Gurley at this point now, but I think Le'Veon Bell is a top 2 running back. He deserves his money. What if he has a career-ending injury and then you don't get your money after that? I mean, if you sign a franchise tag, you start playing, and career-ending injury, he's done. He won't get another contract. He wants that guaranteed money so that way he can have it for the future.
Yeah. I mean, I can see what you mean there. And in the same sense, though, just knowing the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the years, I've seen a lot where they seem to move on. They won't go for that whole like paying you what you want and getting you the money that you need right away. They'll be quick to move on. And like I said, James Conner, he played a great game. So
right. And even Le'Veon, he's not really needed because James Conner did show flashes, and he's only a second-year player. So it's interesting to see what the Steelers can do the rest of the season. They're starting to act like the Patriots, though, getting rid of their top players.
All right, I'm going to have to cut you guys off right there, so let's kick it off to topic number 2. Among the top 3 teams in college football are Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia with the 1, 2, and 3 spots, all coming off pretty good 2017 seasons last year. How do we feel about these top 3 teams going into week 3 of the season, and is there anyone you can see replacing them in the near future?
I mean, obviously these are top 3 teams in the nation, and I don't think there's any argument for it. But I do think there's an argument for the top team in the nation, and that's Clemson. Clemson, a team that's made the college football playoff for multiple years now. They won it one year with Deshaun Watson, with Dabo Swinney at the helm, and he's still there. He's got a senior quarterback in Kelly Bryant, and he's got a true freshman in Trevor Lawrence, who is phenomenal. And that's their big issue right now. They don't know if they want to start Trevor Lawrence at the quarterback position or keep Kelly Bryant there, the more experienced player. I don't like the back and forth between the quarterbacks, but this Clemson team overall, they are led by that defense, that front line. That front line could potentially be the top 4 picks in this year's NFL draft.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I mean, I like Dabo Swinney. I think he's doing a really great job with Clemson. But I think Alabama's going to be the team again. I mean, they're always a powerhouse under Saban. Obviously go back to last year, the national championship against Georgia, when Tua Tagovailoa, apologize if I didn't say that correct, but when he came in the game, able to take over and get Alabama once again another championship. So I just think that they're going to come in with the same momentum again. Unfortunately, Jalen Hurts isn't going to get that starting position, and I'm not sure what he wants to do about that. He probably, in my opinion, I would have transferred, but.
Right, and even Saban has said he's going to use Jalen Hurts' skill set. I don't know how you're going to be able to use it with Tua's ability to play the quarterback position right now. And they obviously always have a top recruiting class, but I think even Georgia could be in that mix for that top spot.
All right, your time is up. Topic number 3. Major League Baseball is beginning to wrap up in just a few weeks, with wildcard games for both divisions beginning October 2nd and 3rd. This only puts us about 2 weeks away from the postseason. My question to you guys is, who is favored going into the playoffs, and is there any predictions that you may have?
First, I want to start off with the American League. Obviously, I think Boston looks the hottest out of all teams. They're already over 100 wins. Tailing behind them is the Yankees, like 10.5 games right now. But overall, they're doing really well. Boston is they just look unbeatable. And when I go to the National League, trying to be biased as a Phillies fan, but there's a lot of different teams that are doing really well. Chicago Cubs, for example, Colorado Rockies. How about them leading their division? It's a lot of good teams out here, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Boston is definitely the team to beat right now. They have the pitching, the starting pitching, specifically. The bullpen, however, has been a concern of mine, especially in the month of July and August. They've had several blown saves. Their ERA is up to 6.2. And, the batting's good, but bullpen, you need that late in the postseason. I think out in the West, usually you have the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Rockies competing for a spot. Two teams usually come for the wild card in the West, but this year it's not going to happen. It's going to come from the Central, where the Cubs lead that division, and then the Brewers and Cardinals are falling right behind.
Yeah, one more thing about the Rockies division. I mean, they're obviously leading right now in their division, and the Dodgers only 1 game back, but I think that'll change within the next 2 weeks, and I don't think they have much to worry about.
Something that concerns me with the Rockies, though, Jimmy, is their starting pitching. They have the youngest starting pitching in the league, but it may be the best. But with young starting pitching, how are you going to handle the postseason?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
All right, that is 90 seconds right there. Well, that's all we have this week. Join us again in 2 weeks to discuss more breaking topics in the sports world, only here on Against the Clock. I'm your host, Sarah Jones, alongside Corey Zimmerman and Jimmy Brown. We will see you next time.